Hello, hello. It is Brit. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to get into Money Game Part 3. I just watched 1 and 2, and again, so much food for thought. It's incredibly honest and it leaves me feeling hopeful and also a little discouraged at the same time, which I like the juxtaposition of those two feelings. It creates a little discord in my own self in, I think, a very positive way. So again, it gives a lot of self-reflection, and I hope we can have a lot more self-reflection in this world. Anyway, let us get right into it. This is a longer one, which I'm very excited for. Ooh, the drama. Gorgeous piano. Oh, I love the way this is filmed. Gives me some ideas for my own stuff. Then you noose around the neck.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly, 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then a lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. He gets a call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
What was it worth, right? Strings.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45, Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. is such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Two things. Even at that point of Jimmy, right, his life is still valuable, but his own self-reflection just demolished him. Like, looking in a mirror, he'd realize who he was, what he'd become. He got every single thing that he had quote unquote wanted, right? And it just left him completely miserable and unable to really like look in a mirror. He just couldn't anymore. And the other thought is I realize the older I get, the more divided we are, because Ren had mentioned community, the more divided we are, the more other people, other powers at hand rise to the top. It is one of those things where, yes, the border is the way that we, like, racism, you know, the divide in our means, in our bank accounts, right? It's all these things that just separate us as people. And the lonelier we become, the more the more disillusioned we become about, you know, life. And it's just, yeah, bitter. You know, we have this thing where we could become bitter and realize that we are in this game of like this, just a wheel in the cog, or cog in the wheel. But from my perspective, there is still so much hope. And I think there is way more people meeting in the middle than there are divided on both sides. And plus, the more divided you are on one side, it's just two sides of the same coin. It's almost like you're very similar in the way that you think. You might have different perspectives, but what you're perpetuating ends up being kind of the same devil, really. So I don't know. A life is still valuable, and I think a self-realized life is the most valuable and the goal for all of us, at least for myself. And I've been a hypocrite in my life. I've been caught up in certain things and trying to make ends meet and have a certain life, you know, because you kind of grow up thinking that's the way, that's what you see, that's what you experience, and other people are doing the same thing. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are alternate, you know, routes to a life of honesty and integrity. And even if that hasn't been something you had lived previously, you can realize it within yourself and start doing that. And that's what I mean by every life is valuable. Nobody is perfect whatsoever. But we do have the authority within ourselves to make better decisions starting now, from this moment, this day, moving forward. The consistency of those small actions of integrity and honesty do add up, and they impact other people. So we don't have to be so disillusioned thinking that this is the only way and give up because this is the way the world is crafted at this moment. We can make moves. We can move the mountain ourselves, and knowing that, you know, someone like Ren is putting his art out there and he's so passionate and speaking these things. Really think about this. Like, there's so many other people that are wanting to do the same. And what I love tremendously about YouTube and starting this channel is that I've been able to see so many like-minded individuals, you know, even commenting on this channel, on my videos, and it gives me a lot of hope. So I feel very, very positive. Even watching this again, it's like there's a sense of like dread, and you're like, God, why is the world like this? But on the other side of it, I think there's more good than there is negative. I really, really do believe that, genuinely, in my heart. And I hope that even the little bit of time that we share, you know, on these videos, that you feel more positive and hopeful coming out of it, because I know that I do. Anyway, Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know your thoughts. Please, in the comments. I know I don't always respond, but I do look through them. And it does mean a lot that you are here and that you are watching this alongside me. But anyway, I hope you have such an amazing day, an amazing life. And I really did enjoy the series of the money game. It was really, really cool. All right. I will see you in the next video. Peace.